wrap up Women's History Month with one of the women leaders helping shape the legal landscape in Hawaii. I caught up with Deputy Attorney General Ciara Kahahane, a Maui native who just won a case in a costly, more than decade-long legal battle over the Ainalea development on Hawaii Island.
That case is particularly interesting because it's been ongoing in some shape or form since about 2011, 2012. So this is just the most recent chapter in the case. It originated when a landowner on the Big Island wanted to develop a mixed-use residential development. And in exchange for, or as a condition to reclassifying the land from agricultural to urban, the State Land Use Commission imposed an affordable housing requirement that a certain percentage of the units be affordable housing. And it went to a new landowner and they plan to develop it into something called the Villages of Ainalea. And they agreed to a reduced affordable housing requirement. And time went by and the units were not being constructed. There weren't any finished affordable housing units on the property by 2008. And the condition was that they be constructed by 2010. So the Land Use Commission issued what's called an order to show cause, basically asking the landowner to show why the property shouldn't be reverted because it wasn't on track to meet that requirement. And then eventually the Land Use Commission reverted the property. So it went back to its former agricultural classification. And that's when the litigation started. So it's a very long and storied case. At one point, we were dealing with a damages claim in excess of $500 million. So that made this case particularly important to the state, as well as because the state has an interest in defending its ability to impose reasonable affordable housing requirements on landowners and developers.
Is that typical? Are cases that you handle, is it like this?
This is pretty unusual for a case to go on this long, and I've only worked on the most recent chapter of this particular story. The previous appeals were all handled by my office, but I have been lucky enough to work on what is hopefully the end. I think it's important for landowners and developers to recognize that they do have to comply with the affordable housing conditions that the state places on them. I certainly hope that it's something that future developers will keep in mind as they agree to affordable housing conditions and hopefully execute the promises that they agree to.
What can you say about kind of the equity and the presence and representation of women leaders in your field, in your department?
Well, I think that my department is a great example of women in leadership roles. Not just Anne, but many of the deputies here, many of the supervisors here are strong and intelligent women, and it's been an honor to learn from them in my time here.
Is there kind of any advice you would give to maybe young women that are kind of pursuing law or even kind of trying to figure out where their place would be here, staying here in Hawaii?
It's important to look at the things that you value, the things that make you happy. For me, it was an easy decision to stay in Hawaii because there's so much that I value about this place. I wanted to have the opportunity to give back to my community that did so much to nurture me and help me become the person that I am.
And our thanks to Ciara Kahahane. She is with the Complex Litigation Division with the AG's office.